This is how we're getting from Sean Kuti. Sing it! It's brilliant writing at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for it. Fourth studio album, Fireboy DML Adedamola is why we're here, man. Fireboy DML, what a career, what a run. 2019 blessed us with a fantastic project where we got to really get a good glimpse of his talent. LTG, okay, what has aged into a modern classic for me, and it's evident that was a brilliant effort he put together with Feels, and he followed up with Apollo right after that saw him expand a lot of, I mean, it's some intricacies into a superstardom. You know, this was a year after, so a lot of those songs really kind of, I mean, it felt like a nice pivot, but a subtle pivot away from the conventional pop effort and more into the ballads and more into the introspective type of arrangement of songs. And he really got busy on that song with Apollo, yet again solidifying his amazing synergy he has with Feels as a producer, and made fantastic records with that one. There's an argument about Apollo over LTG for some, and I absolutely hear the debate when it comes to a musical conversation, when it comes to musicality. Like, there's absolute like points to be made for Apollo over LTG. But that's aside. Where we got an album very recently. It's 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years now. 2022. We got Playboy, when Fireboy decided, you know, this lover boy aesthetic, this lover boy like era that I kind of came in with a crop of other artists. In context, Joe Boy, Oxlade, there was a good crop of lover boys, and this was Fireboy's effort trying to, you know what I mean, not isolate, but deviate and have his own ground. And we saw the Playboy era coming. Now, in terms of messaging, in terms of brand, like synergy with the songs, there was a mismatch. It was a clear mismatch that didn't necessarily resonate with a lot of songs from Playboy. This was his least artistic or his least conceptual album when it came to having an album as a unit. So it feels like a compilation of singles, good singles to be honest, but it doesn't necessarily have the aura and strong unified stance that the other two albums have had. Obviously he had monstrous hits records on this one, from Peru down to Bandana. So it has a lot of commercial weight in order for it to have a punch in his discography. But regardless, if you're going down to the templates or the standard he has set with LTG and Apollo, this felt like more like a letdown from that conversation. And then we got a run of singles that were not connecting. And this was kind of victim to how the industry or the music soundscape in Nigeria, especially Afropop, took a wide shift. Okay, as soon as we saw the Ashakers, the Sheyi Vibes, the Charlie Poppies, the Odumodu, a lot more crass and more street-leaning efforts that the mainstream was moving towards. It felt people like Fireboy a little bit on the sidelines. Okay, we got the sultry, the Loverboy singers where we kind of moved to the sidelines in lots of ways. So there were lots of efforts that he was throwing out there that didn't stick culturally. Granted, a lot of these songs have good numbers on streaming platforms, but when it comes to like really holding up the market and really taking charge, like Fireboy, like Joe Boys, like the Oxlades have done in lots of ways, a lot of their efforts, a lot of their singles definitely didn't connect as well as they did. And we saw Fireboy fall victim of that run of not necessarily having a strong say into the cultural conversation. But regardless, I think a lot of these songs were good material, building up from Yawa down to Everyday. I think this was beautiful runs of singles. We got some bit of a house deviation somewhere in the middle with the song is this Some House, or what was that song called again? Okay, what was that song called that we got before that? I'm trying to remember that song. Not Oh My. There was a song, Someone, which had a house feel to it, very EDM-esque. Unorthodox, I like it, but it definitely wasn't going to punch into the era that we were seeing and make an impact there. But we got Yawa, which I thought was a fantastic record that really stood still. Oh My was a miss for me. Didn't necessarily like the single, and again, still fell victim to the change in ecosystem. But it was an easy skip for me. I'm glad they didn't even bring it back. Then we got a fantastic 2-pack. These are 2 strong efforts that he did that didn't necessarily connect again, but I felt there was some level of injustice to these songs because they felt like Obaa definitely had its own weight in terms of commercial appeal. It had its dance too, but I don't think it resonated as well as it should culturally. But we're getting it back on the album, so I'm hopefully we're getting to see another momentum for that song. Outside, it kind of abandoned with Black Bones. It's a nice effort, but it seems like he puts a lot of effort into the song, but didn't connect, so it seems like he's abandoning the song. It's fair to abandon it, okay, but we got Every Day, which is a templated, like, beautiful wedding moment, and I'm excited that this song is on this album. And then, yeah, we have the full-length album, Adedamola. Without any further ado, that was the context and build up into it. Let's get into this new material. Do I have any crazy expectations? I mean, a lot of the conversations have been said about it already. This seems like a very good redemption album that people are trying to throw on this. I'll find out for myself, okay, and then we'll go through it. You already know how we do on this live stream. I'm going to put up a poll as we're going through the songs. Feel free to leave conversations in the chat, and then we'll get into songs bit by bit to see how we're feeling. First track is called iseoluwa, produced by Basically and North. Okay, let's get into it. Basically is a dope name for a bassist.
Falala, falala, make a de falala, falala. Blessings upon my life till they see me for valala. The good and the bad and the ugly, all of the joy and the suffering. And then it dawned on me, all that I seek is in front of me. I should see, I give the glory to God. I should see, I give the glory to God.
Someone referenced this song recently. Iseoluwa to sanitoye, iseoluwa to sanitoye. Who was Ashake, right? Ashake did a moment on this album. On this recent, what song was it? Was it Suru? Thank you. It was Suru, right? Ashake did it on Suru recently. So it's nice to see. I think he's, correct me if I'm wrong, probably Aruna Ishola or Ebenezer Obey. Faintly, I'm not necessarily clear on who he's referencing. But yeah, we'll get to that. Okay? Now, the horns. It was Aruna Ishola, Abi. Yes, even Adekunle Gold referenced that song too.
Only see me with the people who love me, love to the ones that have lost me. Okay. I came from nothing, made it to something. Running amok, nothing is ever enough. I give the glory to God. I give the glory to God. I give the glory to God.
Beautiful song. Cool. Iseoluwa is the opener for this one, and I'm here for it, okay? Live instrumentation, very wholesome messaging. Aruna Ishola is getting a lot of references this year. Hopefully his publishing is set up. But I think is an absolute strong notes to open up with. This is a self-titled album. So I'm getting the instance that this is gonna feel personal and real and authentic to where he is right now. So hopefully that's the message from the writing and from the setup of this particular song. It's just a matter of being grateful for what he has, not necessarily recognizing that he has what he has in front of him, but this is him realizing how far he has come as an individual. And obviously this is an easy, relatable song for anyone. Everyone can relate to this and tap into it. So it's a very, very good call to have. I love the live instrumentation, the juju elements, that really brings some form of culture into it. So I love that. And even towards the end where he was giving us some nice runs towards the end right there, I enjoyed it. Obviously he has to remind us and flex a little bit his vocals. So right here, strong intro so far. Not mad at this. How are you feeling in the poll? All right, looks like it's 100% in the poll. If you like a song, just basically type 1 into the chat. If you don't like it, type 2. Essentially, that's how you vote. But it looks like it's 100% so far, and we love it. Strong intro, strong effort to go in. Let's get into the next one. This one is called "Call Me."
As you dey see me so, bad man dey so. Anywhere you go, I follow you. I will ever call me anytime. Need somebody to hold on to. What if I told you I'm crazy?
All right.
What if I told you I'm mad? What if I told you I'm sorry for the things I did and I want you back? Baby, dingy you. Call me for. Baby, don't call. It's a concern in them. I go there for you.
Okay, so subtle callback into a song that didn't make it to the album. So if you need me, you can catch me outside. That was a very, very interesting line to throw in there. Okay, but yeah, man, I think it was a cool record. Interesting choice for a second track. You know what I mean? We got the intro. We're definitely diving into a lot more what feels like the comfort zone for the album very quickly. I feel like this is a comfort song. This is not necessarily a song I want to like really present immediately right after the intro. But I see what it's doing. I see what it's playing right now. It's a very romantic song. I'm a piano with like a little bit of a like strong grand piano chords there that really, really like, you know what I mean, very sultry. It feels soft and wholesome. And it's interesting to see this up here early, but we'll see how this one's gonna gravitate into the run of the album. Yeah, it was interesting that he just threw in a random line, if you need me, you can catch me outside, reference into the old one. But we see how this one goes, man. But I'm not necessarily like blown away in terms of how this record fits into the album. It's obviously, yeah, it feels like an early filler into the album, but we'll see how it goes towards the next one. How you guys feeling in the chat though? I see 92%. There's one individual that didn't like this. Okay. But I think it's a nice song. You can't definitely shy away from it. But North apparently is his brother. I saw you guys were saying in the chat. That's crazy. His younger brother is a producer as well. That's dope. That's dope if he is. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, the trumpet too was amazing throughout the song. Interesting choice for me. I like to have this early, but we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's move to the next one. Which one we have? Seun Kuti. Okay, Seun Kuti, musical dynasty, of course. Let's see how he fits into this. Sometimes he sings, sometimes he's just on the sax. Let's see which Seun Kuti we're getting today on this song called Ecstasy, track 3. Let's go.
Ecstasy, that is what I'm feeling when you're next to me. Tell me what to do, just like a recipe.
Are we already in the other room? So early into the album? Okay, all right. I'm here. We can do it. So let's. Okay, whoa, that sounded wild. But yeah, we understand what the assignment is. Let's go.
All the butterflies within my belly when they start to fly.
I wish the log drums were neater. Listen, I'm not in the camp of I don't subscribe to log drums at all. I just feel like it has to be done well. So far, I'm getting very, very abrupt drops of the log drums, and it's throwing my vibe off. It's throwing my vibe off a little bit. Fireboy is singing in the back, bro. He's singing in the back. But right now, there's a little bit of you know what I mean, leg work I have to do around the log drums. You know what I mean? So it's like, we say it comes back together, man.
Baby, I've been calling your phone. Put your body in your mind, body and tell me I've been your own. The feeling you be giving me, be driving me out of zone. Baby, leave me, baby, Jawa, my love.
Okay.
Me like a cover, press me like a piano.
Okay.
I've been on the road and I have been on my own.
He had so many runs that he was actually punching in, like very, very dynamic runs on supposedly an intimate bedroom record. Definitely a lot more dynamic than you would hear most singers attack a song like this. You know what I mean? So it's nice. And this is how we're getting from Seun Kuti. Okay. Imagine if Fireboy was doing some, because obviously he's setting up some nice jazzy elements with this, with the sax. Imagine Fireboy was doing some Afrobeats scatting on top of it. You know what I mean? Just doing some flows around it. Obviously, it would probably throw us off a little bit, but regardless, man, I think this was a nice record. I definitely had it. You know what I mean? He had a bit of work to get over in terms of the drum placements of the log drums. But regardless, I think obviously we get the agenda here, we get the objective of the song, and obviously Fireboy's pen on this was moving. I love his choice of words, bro. I love like how he just, you know what I mean, tries to paint everything so vividly, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, like he said, like now the paradise really your body I they visualize, like it's always something in your eyes. Obviously just nice and wholesome romantic like lines there that's thrown in there just to paint the picture much more vividly. And it's not bad of an effort. Okay, not bad of an effort. And shout out to Seun Kuti on the sax, bro. Shout out to Seun Kuti on the sax. Okay, definitely a nice run into the project so far. I'm not necessarily thrown off from the vibe on this one. But what are you guys saying in the chat? Not a fan of the plenty log drums, but it's nice. Yeah, man. I thought the log drums were not necessary on this. It wasn't really necessary. But if it was being done, I don't want it to be a distraction or something that takes away from the experience of it. Because there were nice moments where it was there. It was subtle, but there were some crazy pockets where it was trying to really get to that really threw me off. But overall, not a bad effort on this one, man. Which one is El Kuti, bro? That was an L for Sean Kuti. That was nice. That's actually a good way to use the Sean Kuti feature, bro. That's actually a nice way, because that was a moment. Someone said Yoruba angel music. Anyway, this is a song they would use in a romantic movie. The sax would be there. We went there doing the nasty. Of course. So version slightly disrupts the. Damn, you guys are having a pistols in the chat. I love it. Okay. I chewed on Tattoo from his album. I mean, Tattoo is top 5 Fireboy records, in my opinion. Obviously, it's more R&B leaning effort for the other room that does a very stellar job. All right, so that was track 3, Ecstasy with Sean Kuti. All right, let's get into the next one. This one is called Hell and Back. Let's go. Constant piano efforts throughout. Fragments of our piano is on this.
It's obvious you haven't found a replacement. I know you in and out, so I cannot be mistaken. Girl, I know you miss it when I'm driving you crazy. Oh, now you want me back after putting me through hell and back.
Pull this up now.
I told you that I'm done with that. So tell me why you want me back.
Oh.
Kill a money, yo. Oh, waiting you do me if you to kill a money, yeah. Make a money joke, make a money shape.
This verse is interesting because he's throwing out his one-liners that feel like. Okay, let me hear it again. Let me hear this verse is interesting in particular. Okay, so from the first run of the chorus and the first verse, this is more of a heartbreak story, even though I was kind of thinking it was for the other room, but it's not quite the situation. This is a relationship dilemma moment here. The girl is trying to get back into his life after giving him a work, you know what I mean? But regardless, I think it's coming together nicely. Again, the amapiano string or connector is still here in the shakers and how the pace of the record is moving. I think the second verse is interesting. Let me run it back.
And like a popo, I for send to your case. For your case, I for pull up in a Lambo. You do me why you? Oh baby, why you? Go so take my pen away.
He does this thing where he's connecting the lines after line, like something popo, and then a popo to my case, and then I go pull up to your case with a Lambo. I like what he's doing in terms of how he structured that verse, even though it feels like all the Nigerian just the street lingo type of like references he's making. I think it's good. It's nice to actually connect the song to some streets level and obviously to bring it back home in some sense. So I like that he's doing that, but it's actually clever how he's structuring it. You know what I mean? To the shake to the popo, to the case, Lambo. I love how he's connecting those points with the line. It's making the verse actually flow consistently. That's why I was like, I had to pull it back a bit, not to understand what he's trying to do there. But I think it's actually clever, man. What? Oh, I missed it. Anyway, regardless, bro. That was beautiful. Bro, where can I even go with that song, man? That was stellar. that was sublime. That was sublime, man. From not just the writing and the storytelling attached to this song, like you're seeing the very brilliant like weaving and delivery there that has very, very strong like rudimentary Afrobeat elements to it and to his structure of his writing. The collecting those lines in the second verse was absolutely brilliant. And we're seeing the production that obviously like build up the momentum time and time again. Yes, we're hearing some shakers in the beginning that felt very piano-esque, but over time as the song got more soulful on his delivery, we're hearing mad runs, his vocals, his presence is astounding, it's profound, it's in your face. I think you can feel some level of emotions behind this particular one, man. This is a strong effort. This is a very strong effort. Imagine having a breakfast story right after you're in the other room. You know what I mean? It was a bit of a shift, but sonically it blended nicely from Ecstasy into this. So I'm liking the placement of this one so far. It's a very, very nice record to spin. That's definitely leaving a mark. For me. Hell and Back, for sure. Yeah, I'm coming back to this one. Definitely coming back to this one. Yeah, we definitely have to come back to this one. That was a fantastic reference. What are you guys saying in the chat? Yet again, another 100%. You guys are definitely, yeah. It's evident what that song did to you, man. Of course, man. Beautiful record. Remember what he did on Single Oxide? Yeah, for sure. Now this is good. This is very, very good. Absolutely brilliant, man. What we are having here, man. It's nice. Yeah, let's get into the next song. I'm excited about this next one, bro. We have Loj. Now, when it comes to the pen game conversation, these are two names that get thrown in there, and I love it. I absolutely love it. These are very, very witty and clever writers, and Afrobeats punchers too. You know what I mean? They find pockets and punch it. And I love it. Absolutely love it when it comes to the flow and delivery. I'm expecting... No, my bar is really set high for this song, Letting Go. If this is not my favorite song on this album, I'm kidding. But seriously, yeah. I hold Fireboy and Loj to very high standards. So let's see how they're going to come around, bro. Let's see how this one goes. Letting Go. Let's get it.
Sometimes you hold it back.
Oh God, I'm already there. I'm sorry, Loj opened up. I did not see that coming, bro. I wasn't prepared. Loj is opening up the song. Loj, let's go, man.
And I was obviously head over. Now I'm packing my bags and running on my hill. Let me tell you all about Julie.
I like that.
Every other day she disperses, say she loved me truly. But the repercussion was nothing.
Oh, they go back and forth, bro.
To fall in love.
Hey.
Evidently you're cheating too. Sometimes loving is letting go.
Wow.
But you know, say I go always there for you. Why you there for me water, then set me on fire.
Don't worry. Oh God.
Baby, don't waste my time.
It's very, very, very tiny things, or tiny little bits of detailing when it comes to the enhancements of a verse. It's one thing to just lay your lead vocals down there, but it's a beautiful art to just finding the nice or the sweetest pockets to just add more harmonies or just stack some vocals for it. And Fireboy has this very brilliant way of finding the right spots just to elevate his verses, just elevate his just his vocals on there, and he's finding it so beautifully, and I absolutely enjoy it time and time again. I was just going crazy on the previous song just before this one, and he's doing it again, bro. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Ah, okay. All right. I like that. I like it. Loj and Fireboy came together. I love the idea of actually going back and forth on the verse and sharing the verse right there. Loj kicking off the song in the beginning was definitely not on my, wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I love it. It gave it some edge, gave me some really strong effort to kick off the song. And the song is very, very wholesome in some ways, but obviously they're speaking into the heartbreak topic that we're still picking back up from Hell and Back. So it's nice and consistent when it comes to the themes and how they're linking those songs together. Loj, definitely, man. Like, again, these are two artists that we've seen time and time again in the witty and clever writing conversations. So it was evidently that these were two artists that are very, very profound in their storytelling and making it clear what the message or what the feeling of the song was. And they found pockets too to be kind of being engaging and try and bring it to a very R&B leaning side in this case, but not necessarily as Afrobeats-esque in a lot of ways, which I'm not necessarily mad about. But I definitely love how wholesome and R&B-esque that this was the atmosphere that they wanted to go for, because these are two artists that have done very, very well in the R&B front. So it's nice to see a glimpse of that, but obviously we can see some production elements kind of bringing it home as well. And they're making the song very sing-alongable in the structure of the hook too, so it's nice. It's a nice way to check it off, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, we're seeing some consistent theme of heartbreak, but obviously, it's still leaving the window open in this heartbreak song. That's essentially what they're doing. They're still like, I mean, they're still having a conversation with the girl to say, you can still come back to my life, but this is how we're gonna do it. So I hear it, I absolutely hear it. What are you guys saying in the chat, in the poll for this one? Okay, I'm seeing 16. votes for yes, 94%. So there's definitely one person that is not necessarily on board with this one. And this is fine. Okay, nice mid-tempo track. Okay, above the difficulty of moving on. Do we have ChatGPT in the chat, bro? I love it. I love it. Love the feedback on the songs there. I like it. Sounding good, man. Sounding good. The melodies, of course, were simple. The harmonies, I'm really like a fan of when it comes to Fireboy's harmonies, bro. Very, very beautiful, like and tactful. Very tactical, like harmonies, and I love it. It's just not anywhere below face. It's very, very nicely placed. And, there's definitely an art to that, and I think Fireboy understands it clearly. Like, it makes all his verses more interesting just off of that alone. All his verses becoming more interesting for me just off of that. But anyway, man, decent record. Nice moment for Lil J to show up on Fireboy's project. Now, the next track is, bro, I'm about to cry for the next track. We have Lagbaja involved, bro. In the whole of the streaming era, Lagbaja has not even wanted his songs on streaming, bro. Like, that's how far removed Lagbaja has been from the ecosystem in the Nigerian music landscape so far. And it's such a hard, like, I don't know, yes, some industry people know his dealings, they know his managers, they know his people around him, but he's such an enigma. It's very hard not to crack when it comes to, there's a lot of mystique, clearly, from the mask alone. There's a lot of mystique to him, and he's obviously an icon for everyone that has been listening to Nigerian music from the late 90s down to today. So you definitely understand the weight of this feature. So I'm excited about this one. Lagbaja is on here on a Gen Z album, bro. Okay, I don't know if it's Gen Z. Yeah, but you know what I mean, bro. It's crazy. This one's called Back and Forth. All right, let's share it, bro. Fireboy DML and Lagbaja. I'm excited, bro. Let's go. Already, the sax came in. I'm here.
Sometimes I know it. Sometimes I don't know how to show it. We found love in the letter. The kind of love we go remember. The kind of love you know fi end up. Yeah, make you do me tender. And even when I did out time, even when I am still in denial, now only you they light up my fire.
Oh, that one is again, bro.
I hope that you know that I love every single moment with you.
The strings in the back is taking me back to one of the best songs ever put together by a Nigerian. Never Far Away. Like, a brilliant song in every sense of the word. And I see some fragments of that song trying to come into this. It was a beautiful orchestral fusion with a lot of juju and folk. Not juju really, but more so folk instrumentals from Yoruba folk elements and some orchestral, like, ballads kind of pour into it. Beautiful song. And I see a lot of that attempt, or at least the influence or the inspiration behind this particular song. It feels like it's trying to do that same fusion that Never Far Away was doing. And I'm definitely hearing and picking it up. I don't know if it's hitting that bar, because that's such a bar. That's such a high bar for a song like that. That's like literally top 5 greatest songs ever from Nigerians, period. Like, I'll stand on that hill. But yeah, I think the influence is there. The connection to that song is essentially there. It feels like why Lagbaja is present with us here. Let's go.
What I do to let you know how I feel inside for you. Inside for you. Cause you're my back and forth, I'm back and forth. So love.
Okay, hold on, my goods. hold up. We just got Lagbaja vocals, bro. Like, understand what we just got Lagbaja vocals in 2024. Isn't that crazy, bro? Isn't that crazy? Like, process, let's take it in first. Lagbaja vocals are on the 2024 album, bro. Like, pinch me. No, but it's interesting to see what he sounds like today. Like, I don't know what I expected. I don't know what I was going to see what, like, he's going to sound like. But I'm just taking it in just out of, like, sheer, like, admiration for his legacy, bro. So I don't even know, I can't even go into the technicalities of what he sounds like now. I'm just taking in the process that, listen, Lagbaja is actually, like, voicing something today, bro. That's crazy.
And even when
My bro. Fireboy said he's not living here without falsettos, bro. Man.
Back and forth.
Bro, we got Lagwaja, bro. We got Lagwaja on a song, bro. Shut up. Who can flex like that, bro? Who can actually flex and say, bro, I got Lagwaja to record in 2024? Not a lot of people can actually nah, bro. That's crazy. We got an actual Lagwaja song that was very, very much in the likeness of Never Far Away, one of the greatest songs ever. One of the greatest songs ever by Nigerian. No, that was absolutely amazing. The song definitely felt like a grower, you know. There was momentum after momentum that it kept on building on. And just seeing the very, very orchestral-esque kind of arrangement to it, it just felt very, theatrical. And I absolutely love it. It's the same theatrics you hear on Never Far Away that they're trying to get to. It's not necessarily song hook, it's not necessarily hook verse kind of structure. We're getting very, very interesting moments where we got Lagwaja's verse and there's a pocket in his verse where they brought back in order to make it a bridge into to see the song out a little bit. So there was a very, very, very well orchestrated type of arrangement for this song, and obviously it feels very, very it's on the soulful end, you know. It's very supposed to string you in with those emotional strings, and I absolutely love that we're getting some nice percussions of a focal end. So it's nice again that what he's trying to do, and we cannot shy away from the vocals flex, bro. Fireboy wanted to flex. Anyway, let's get into the next song. Okay, you guys were 92% on Back and Forth. Beautiful moment with Lagwaja there. I'm really, really ecstatic about that one. John Baptiste returning the favor after being featured on his, I think, Grammy winning. Oh, you were just nominated. Sorry. Grammy nominated album from last year. It's nice to see that return here. So let's get into this one. It's called Ready. Let's hear it.
Took my heart and my soul, gave it all to you. Cause I've been ready, yes I've been ready. And I've been waiting all my life for you to say this. I'd be hanging too low if I were a fruit.
Oh, bro, I'll be hanging too low if I were a fruit. Okay, hold that line aside for a second. Bro. Bro, what am I hearing right now? I don't think I've seen Fireboy like this before. That's what's shocking me. That's what's actually shocking me. I don't think I've heard Fireboy like this. Because he has had ballads, don't get me wrong. He has had moments like I'm a Dreamer, that's a fantastic record, 24. There've been moments, trust me. But bro, there's something different here. There's something different in the air here, bro. Bro, you're hearing subtle, very subtle vibratos into his voice too. It's not a little bit, bro, the tone, the texture just feel very rich right now. Very, very rich, bro. Anyway, let's hear it. So poetic.
I've been there for too long, waiting just for you.
It's brilliant writing at the same time. I'm sorry, man. Taking in this line, the whole point is that he's ready, right? I'm ready for you, bro. The line about hanging too low, if I were fruits, because I'm right there. Just grab me, bro. Nah, that's too poetic, bro. Bro, I don't think I'll be able to get through over this song without pausing. Magic fingers right there, bro. That's John Baptiste's contribution right there. Clear as day. Clear as day. Yo. Good thing he dropped this on August 30th. Or 29th, rather. Good thing. Grammys are screaming to me right now, bro. I don't hate that we have to go immediately to that once we hear Brilliant Moment. And granted, John Baptiste is a Grammy baby. Put that one aside. But still, Grammys screaming at this song right now, bro. The campaigns better get the ball rolling. There's a lot of categories this can fall into. But bro, just from a vocal standpoint, not even to get to the writing, like again, because this song we're seeing the actual journey throughout his the moments here. We started off with a lot of gratitude in the first instance, then it went to love, and then it got into some raunchy, some sex intimacy atmospheres, and then we got into the heartbreaks. We're seeing a cycle of a storyline going as this albums are coming in. So we got heartbreak. Heartbreak has been a theme with some form of like leg in, leg out on the record with Lil J to kind of see us out. And then we got into back and forth that really saw it coming back into the atmosphere of love again. And then already we're seeing where this is another level of expression towards that love message or really opening the door. Now he feels like he's very, very open. He was halfway in there with letting go, but right now he's all the way open. And this, what a way to put it together and to depict that message. The atmosphere is insane. We're getting Jon Batiste, a very, very seasoned pianist, to be honest, because he plays like, yeah, this is the upper echelon. We're talking upper echelon like musicians in the world, to be honest. Like Jon Batiste on the keys, very, very seasoned on the keys, bro. This man was on the TV show for Stephen Colbert for how many years, just playing the keys for the band, and you can definitely see the skill set pour into the song, man. And we just allowed Fireboy to sing. I don't think Fireboy sang like this before. I'm being very honest. Like, I've seen him as a great singer. Don't get me wrong. I think this is the best effort he has ever put out when it comes to his vocal performance. I'm just going to go as far as saying that. This is the best I've ever heard him vocally. The textures, at least, shout out to whoever is mixing too, because bro, so crisp. Everything is so crisp and sounds amazing. Like I was getting literal chills, and it happens often, but like not as often as you might think. And I really enjoyed this moment, and I'm just gonna bask in the glory of that song right now, because it's like, it feels like, you know what I mean, Titanic. You're at the edge of the ship, and you're just opening up, and the breeze is just blowing. That's what the song feels like right now, bro. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? And what a breath of fresh air this feels, even in the context of this album. The first ballad is right in the middle. It's tucked in there. It makes perfect sense. I'm excited of what's next now for the album. This is going to be a new phase for the album. So let's get into it, to the next track. All right, man. All right, what are you guys saying in there? Head is have to fix up. This is vocal performance winner, easily. Male vocal performance. I mean, shout out to Magix, shout out to Oxlade. A lot of names can definitely come up for that category. But Fireboy has to be stealing it with this song. I'm sorry. But anyway, man. Someone says it sounds like an outro. Sure. That would be a little bit too predictable, to be honest. But I can see it as an outro, to be honest. Yes, but that would be kind of predictable, but makes sense. Don't get me wrong, it's valid. But it's nice to have this tucked into the middle of the project. It feels very much like an interlude in the sequence of the flow for it, because it's a very definitive moment. We've gotten good percussions throughout. Even though yes, they were very, very R&B-esque. We got good percussions, but this was a very, very intentional moment in the album, and I loved it. There's two people that don't like the song. There's two people that voted no on the song. To those two individuals, seek help. I'm sorry. Seek help. All right? That was a beautiful song. That was a stunning, amazing record, bro. Anyway, let's get into the next one. Wande's Bop. Okay, now I'm gassed. Now, I see. Bro, this album, my goodness. Let's get into the next one. Wande's Bop is the matter here, and we already know, without even making any second guess, we know which Wande he's talking about. Clearly, because Wande Cole has been a very, very strong, like, this Fireboy says it time and time again, there's three people that influence his sound and the foundation of his music. There's Wande Cole, there's Passenger, and there's John Bellion. And Wande Cole, the Nigerian staple when it comes to pop music and R&B, and bringing Fuji and bringing those elements into a very, very strong Nigerian essence. It doesn't get much better than Wande Cole. And the influence has been put into so many artists, including Fireboy being one of the very, very like prominent ones that has taken and adopted so much from Wande, and openly so, beautifully so. There's him, there's Oxlade, there's YKB, there's so many people that actually wear that Wande Cole cloth well, and they're proud of it. You know what I mean? So let's get into this one that references or gives some level of homage to Wande, the GOAT, you know. This one has Spinall on it. Let's see how it's saying, man. Wait, dun 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 dun. Yeah, this was on the album recently. This was on the recent album. Was it Ichoke or? Yeah, I think it was Ichoke. Dun dun. I'm gonna choke you. I remember that. Let's go into it.
Anybody want pop? I'ma make it them pop, and you wanna see ladies.
Hey!
When I step up in the club with your biggie bum bum, and you wanna see ladies.
Let's go!
All the girls say I'm driving them crazy. They wanna be in my playlist.
Yeah, man.
They call me baby.
I didn't understand that pocket. What was the idea? What was the concept there? Move
your body to just spin up. Fire,
hey.
You know. When I pull up, them I shout, you don't.
Hey.
Don't my vibe, get up. When I step up in the club with your biggie bum bum, and you wanna see ladies. Too many guys in the club tonight, I wanna see ladies.
Oh man, okay. Wande's Bop. Okay, interesting moment in this one. I mean, it's a clean album so far. It's been an enjoyable album so far. All right. And then we've seen a song that feels like, in a lot of ways, it feels right. It feels just to have a Wande Cole moment. Even though, yes, he has had a song with Wande Cole spell, and they did their falsetto off on that record. I love that song. This is him paying a lot of homage to Wande Cole. There's a lot of influences in the styles, in the string. There's a clear reference to his recent song Ichoke on the strings in the beginning, and even at the outro you tend to hear it more. And obviously there's the textbook Wande Cole essence in the delivery, where he's very, very, he's very, very dynamic with his vocals, switches from the head voice to the chest voice, and just goes very, very Wande Cole-esque in essence. And Fireboy was making sure he was checking all those boxes, and I absolutely hear him checking all those boxes that really connect the song to Wande, and it's nice. Okay, this is the only effort, this is the first effort on the album that screams like it's trying to cater to the clubs, get some banger out of it. It's telling girls to whine it, you know what I mean? He's doing a lot of that. For me, in essence, it feels out of place. There were moments here where the attempt of paying homage to Wande Cole, like, there's a little bit of that. I think it was the change in key or something. Something that felt like a modulation-esque that really, really threw you off balance. That the song had already established with the Ichoke strings in the beginning. It kind of threw you off in that little place, and then you were getting the Wande Cole slurring. I didn't know if I was a big fan of that. Pocket. And then it came back into his normal stance, and then the record now felt a lot more loose and freestyle-y, which, again, that's Wande Cole in its essence. But I connect a lot of that to the setback that Wande Cole has been having. So it's almost as if he's trying to do a Wande Cole imitation that isn't necessarily helping or working for Wande Cole even in today's lens. Like, this song just feels a little too loose for that. And I don't think I get the idea of it, but I don't think it's a good material in the essence of it. I don't think it was a good moment, a good flow of pockets from. I get the stark difference you needed to make with Ready, and sometimes you can position songs like from ultra slow, mellow, intimate, spiritual ballad like Ready. You want to like make a distinct effort to sequence it to something else, and then you get your Wande Cole bop that has all the the efforts, the scream club banger. It was a little too much. It was a little too much of a stark like difference. I get that you can make that work sometimes, but I don't think the Wande Cole like attempt here or essence here was really, really polished enough to make a sounding record, like a song that actually feels like I want to go back to and really jam. A lot of the loose ends they're still left untied, which many Wande Cole songs today have that essence of just having loose ends, not really tied up and connected for it to make a complete and full-fledged song. It's not necessarily, it's a wande cool thing, but it's not a great thing about wande cool. If you guys understand what I mean, like it's one of the setbacks that he's been having, and it's crazy that Fireboy tried to adopt the not so pleasant sides of today's wande on that. But I hear it. I hear the idea. But anyway, man, that was wande's bop. Okay, not all the way on that one. I'll probably go as far as say my least favorite so far on this project. But we can hear it. I see some people already fans of my take on that one. But I don't know. I struggled with that one a little bit. Even though I've seen a lot of reverence to wande on it. But I see what it is. Yeah, you might disagree. It's a great thing for wande. I think sometimes there's a lot of moments where it's overdone and it's not done properly. Okay, and then he can lose guard. Essentially, what happened to Legend or No Legend? It was a lot of that on that album. Okay, sure, I'll get tomatoes on that one. I'll wear it. I'll wear the tomatoes. It's okay. Anyway, man, that was wande's bop featuring Spinall. Let's get into the next song, Change Your Life. Okay? Change your life. Interesting message there on that one, man. Let's get to that one. A lot of wind instruments, this album. Love it.
You need some love and attention. I need your love every second.
That bass is nasty, bro. I'm sorry, this is how you pick up the dance era of the album. This is how you pick up the dance moments on the album. Okay, let's get to it. Let's run it back.
You know one love me, you know one let me go.
Hey.
Unavailable like a baby blue.
Hey, la.
Let me change your life. I won't waste your time. I don't got no time.
I feel like Uhuru could be here, bro.
Anything you need, baby.
Bro, this was 2014, 2015. Uhuru, like, you know what I mean? The sound type of Afro house on this. I love the textures on this particular song. Imagine if you just slapped and like this is very, very pre-Amapiano era type of house, and I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Eva, flex on them. Hey. All right, that was a fun record. Nice. We're getting into the, I guess, high energy, high tempo pocket into the album so far, and I admire the arrangements on this. Definitely having like a pre-ready, post-ready effect. I like it. I definitely like it. This one definitely taps into a lot more of the Southern African like Afro house. Borderline some disco bassline efforts are coming into it. Something that will take you back into like the 80s, like say Off the Wall or Thriller type of MJ. And I'm not mad at that particular dance, or I mean the attempt here to get some dance efforts. It definitely is groovy throughout the entire song, and it's just a nice vibe the entire time. Like you can't help but just stay on beat and stay on the vibe. It's not a song that even needed you to be pause break where you have like a different dynamic chops and everything. It was a smooth sailing, easy kind of let me flex. Like this man was even flexing as he was trying to toast this babe. You know what I mean? He was trying to chat up and raise out this babe, basically saying I'm a superstar, man. I will change your life. Like I'm out here. We're outside. So I like it. I like the flex effort, and I obviously love what it's doing for the album in order to like be upbeat, in order to have some form of flow and energy into it. I definitely love it. And Obasama is coming right after this. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I like this effort. Okay, change your life. I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. What are you guys saying in the poll? There's one person that doesn't like this. Okay, there's one person that doesn't like this. All right, cool. I hear it. We'll move on to the next song. But yeah, it looks like for the most part this is a slapper of a moment. Change your life. I'm absolutely adding that one, man. That was fire. I even forgot to add Ready. Can you imagine? Anyway, let's get into the next one real quick. We're doing okay with time. Obasima is another record that we got to hear before the album. High energy. Let's spin it for good times, for old times. You know? Hey!
when you go low. We'll be here forever. So love me now or never, baby. I know the truth is bitter. So give me something sweeter. Obaa, sima, more than me.
Yeah, man. Bro, do you know the beautiful thing about this? I was going to make a point real quick before I get to the next one. I didn't even realize when the other song just passed. But bro, listen, the fact that when Obaa Sima dropped, all right, it was thick in the middle of the Shalipopi like wave. You know what I mean? The abrupt like Odumodu wave. Like the ecosystem was just not hearing it. Like they didn't just want to hear songs like this. And yes, granted, it was kind of harsh treatment for this particular song, but I love it when you know that the pendulum is going to be swinging back anytime soon. It's not all the way back, to be honest. There's still some, like Ozeba is out here, you know what I mean? Fuji Vibe is out here, aggressive, very crass records. There's even Juju that's starting to pick up. So it's still here. The ecosystem is still there. But the beautiful thing about bringing a song back into and giving it new life, basically breathing new life into it by adding it on an album that is making a big statement, and people are going to obviously pay attention. A lot of people didn't know Obaa Sima dropped because, again, to a very mainstream and casual ear, there was a lot of noise going on the other side. Like the other side was having too much fun that other songs were getting sidelined. And now we are in the ecosystem right now in music. People have their own silos and bubbles. Some are bigger than others, clearly. But it's nice that Obaa Sima will get more attention just by the announcement and just the wave that is coming with this album. So it's a very beautiful song that should be getting its just reverence. You know what I mean? But anyway, that aside, and how brilliant the song is, I thought the transition was crazy. So I'm going to run that back. Okay? I'm going to run that back. I'm going to run that back.
Call me when you're lonely. Make I come touch your body. Make I come kill your colleague. Anytime you need me, baby, I'll be there. Would you want to happen to you? Tell me who did this.
It's so similar to Obaa Sima in a lot of ways. I get why they're connected together. It felt like the same session. It felt like a very, very elongated session. It felt like they feel like one song at the end of the day. Transition was so sleek that they feel like one song. You're kind of seeing remnants of the melody from Obaa Sima kind of pouring into this particular song. So right now I'm fighting in my head trying to not see Obaa Sima in this song. I'm trying to take in this new song. So so bear with me.
Tell me why you dey kaku. Everything I say not true. If I got you, I can lose. Now you I choose. When you know they beside me.
I'm struggling with this one. I like it. Need me. Now this might be another tomato moment. Okay. Now hold your tomatoes. I don't hate the song. Okay. I don't hate the song. I think the context to it doesn't really serve it well. Granted, it's very brilliant in the transition. It feels like one long song from Obaa Sima bleeding into this. But it's just too, like, I don't know. It just feels rather, like, after getting the high of Obaa Sima and getting just the overall vibe, it's boring too much from Obaa Sima for my liking. Yeah, it's boring too much from Obaa Sima, especially the chords. And that's what's really, really driving the song, really. Like, at the end of the day, it's like the chord progression. And at the end of the day, what Fireboy is trying to add to it, to take it away from Obaa Sima, doesn't do a decent job to make it its own moment, make it its own, like, voice. And I get that. This is same artist, same producer. I get, like, they almost made the song in the same session. But yeah, it just doesn't necessarily have any legs to stand on, is what I mean. Like, it doesn't have any, like, reason to feel like it's an identifiable song of its own, right? It's just way too married to Obaa Sima that it could have just been placed in the outro of Obaa, to be honest. And I didn't get much into it in terms of content, in terms of meat into the song. Granted, there was a different hook on this one, but yeah, not enough to really like grab me. Again, we're still carrying the percussions, the chords from Obaa, and it just feels a little too on the nose for me to enjoy it. But I see I like the outro on this one, very Amapiano-esque on that one, to see us into the next one. But not bad of an effort. I just feel the context kind of ruins the song for me. That's it pretty much for this one. So yeah, not the craziest moment I'm excited about, and trust, and I saw a message in the chat too that kind of annoyed me, so maybe that too. But we'll move on to Yawa, a song that we've already loved. How you guys saying in the poll? 18? Okay, 90% in the poll. That's fair, I guess. It's not a bad song, like I said. It's not a bad song. The context is just not making it work for me. But anyway, we'll move on to the next one, Yawa. See what you guys are saying. Another song that kind of fell victim, even though the numbers are pretty. It's Fireboy. The playlisting was good. This was a lot of songs that felt like people's guilty pleasure. You know what I mean? You were not coming outside to say you love the song. You were probably like close knit with the song, tucked into your house. And you are not outside with this record at all. But even though it feels like a song that you should be outside with. And I enjoyed it, man. Yawa, let's go. Man on the mission,
I see no competition. And
hey,
I mind my business.
Hey, Lord is my witness.
Yawa,
Check out one len when I no keep passing, no. Hey,
I no keep passing, no. More than enough, I've been on the block, I've been giving it all on the dance floor, 24/7, 1 o'clock, and I swear to God.
Ojojúmọ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ mi. Hey, let them talk. Ojojúmọ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ mi. Jẹ́ ká. That was Ashake. People are saying as Ashake at the end, right? Like when he said Ojojúmọ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ mi at the end, I could hear it. I can actually hear it now. I didn't know, but as soon as I was, yeah, it actually sounds like him. It actually sounds like Ashake at the end, man. That's sick. That's sick if it is. I mean, it's Magic Stick, so it has to be. It has to be, man. That was dope. I love Yawa, man. Yawa is a very, very strong record, and I love that it's gonna get some new energy into it now. All right, let's move on quickly to the next song. Every day, we're already here. Another Gbedu, bro. Back to back. Bro, this is a closeout, but this is one hell of a way to close an album, bro. I love this record so far, man. Let's spin it. One of the best records out this year. Wedding Galore.
Tell me where you did.
Hey, last Saturday.
I go meet you there. Girl, I'm not sure. Give me action. Don't do too much. I love you with passion. Jessica, Jennifer, family last shot. I will soon be like no more fornication.
Girl, I'm not here to
confuse you. Girl, I'm only here to convince you that I love and I need
you.
Baby, let me take you to Ibiza. Let me put a ring around your finger.
Yeah, ba.
Make you memory to live. Cause I miss you every day.
Call it on the day. I'll be on my way. I can't wait to enjoy this album. Okay, alright. That was Every Day. Now let's see the outro, which is titled John's Interlude. Interesting for an outro to be called John Interlude. I'll hear it. Okay, there might be I don't know, maybe like a keys moment. I never know, but I'm expecting something like that, like we got on Ready. But let's see how it goes, man. John's Interlude, the outro for Fireboy's Adedamola album, bro. Beautiful. Let's go. Yeesh. Wow. Okay. There we have it, guys. There we have it. Adedamola, Fireboy, 14 tracks, 40 minutes. Wow. What a run. What a run, man. I love it. Absolutely love the atmosphere this was. This was a journey. This was a nice like experience altogether. You know, albums are meant to feel like a movie in a lot of ways. Like it's a full-on experience, or it's a concert, or it's a show. And I had a good time. Okay, I had a good time. I had a lot of fun. It's nice also having you guys in the chat as well helping. But yeah, this was a good time. This was an absolute good time that Fireboy was able to put together for the fourth time. Now, a lot of pressure going into this album when it comes to the gaze of Afrobeat to the world, where other artists are in their trajectories of their careers. A lot of that has been projected onto Fireboy as to like, this guy has to be certain points at his career and everything. And I get that comes with the pressure of being a pop act. Like, it's a natural response to how, because at the end of the day, your currency is your hits. And what doesn't really favor people like Fireboy in a very pop context, and there are very, very rare exceptions to that, is that you have to balance the singles market versus your album market persona. And Fireboy clearly outperforms a lot of people when it comes to the album market versus the singles market. And I feel like he's such an album guy that in a lot of ways his DNA might not seem as tailor-made for pop, or for just the retention of pop music and listeners in lots of ways. And yeah, there's a few people like that. Okay, that's why it was nice that immediately he had a solo hit, a single hit. We got albums out of him almost immediately. And I love artists that are wired like that, not fearful or not afraid to put together albums and just throwing it out there. And Fireboy is an artist that clearly he's wired like that. He's wired for albums, for full-on experiences. He wants to tell you stories. He wants to give you journey. He wants to give you the highs and the lows. He really, really wants to like make an experience out of his music. And it's nice. It's nice that he is able to come back after a very, very not so strong album effort when it comes to the album gates. Commercially, it was brilliant. It did all its wins. It had all the labels he made big money out of that album, Playboy. But the strings of singles that were coming after that felt like they all needed an album. At the end of the day, they felt like they needed an album. They didn't have the punch to penetrate through the very, very crass and street heavy leaning nature of the Nigerian music landscape at the time. So it was very critical to see him come forward with another album. And this album now feels like he's going back home he's going back to the roots. A lot of people will compare this to LTG, and naturally they will, because it has that profile of LTG and Apple in a lot of ways, when it feels like this is album Fireboy. And this album definitely feels like that. We got a lot of brilliant moments that really showed his talent level and show how he's really a class act when it comes to writing and being able to convey a message on a song. Still finding very clever ways to connect it to the home front, bringing some street lingo into it. It was very, very brilliant moments like that was Hell and Back, okay? The second verse on Hell and Back, that was a very stellar moment of him still showing up that he is a very, very strong, eclectic writer, heavy on his English and his vocabulary, and is strong there. We can talk about writing and vocabulary in a different position, but it's nice to be able to be that, but in a very street context. And I think that that's the balance that Fireboy was kind of forced to be aware about when coming into this album. Even though it's not all the way there, there's not too many street-esque songs on this album. I don't think there's a street banger or street song here. The closest you can obviously say here is Wande's Bop, okay, that really, really cuts into the somewhat of a street angle. But in a lot of sense, Fireboy is still showing his very, very rudimentary R&B pop and in a lot of ways folk elements, because we got a lot of that here. There were some very, very strong folk influences that we saw pouring into the album right from the get-go with iseoluwa, like very, very rudimentary, like Akpala type of reference here. We got from Haruna Ishola. A lot of gratitude on that song, and it was beautiful. It was nice with the live instrumentation, and I think it was well done. Hell and Back had some live instrumentation as well. The record with Lagbaja, the GOAT, the legacy that Lagbaja brought for this album is immense, because that's someone that doesn't come outside for anybody, and he did, and he showed up in such a very, very stellar way in terms of trying to imitate or meet the profile of a Never Far Away, a song that he has been brilliant in the past, and you can see a lot of that synergy or resemblance to how the folk elements are tied into the orchestra and string elements on the album. So it made for a very, very, very beautiful synergy of both their worlds, and it made sense. It absolutely made sense, and I absolutely love that song as one of my favorite songs. Everything that I'm checking out here are my favorite songs. So I have Hell and Back, I have Back and Forth, I have Ready. Ready is such a statement for Fireboy, bro. It's such a statement. Having John Baptiste, one of the upper echelon world-class musicians, being able to lay down keys for you on a ballad, and you're singing your ass off, bro. He's a brilliant singer. I've never seen him sound so clean, so technical, and just brilliant the entire time on this particular song. So Ready was an outstanding song. I might go down as one of his best performances ever vocally. Like, I think this is up there. This man was hitting some crazy notes at the same time, holding some strong vibratos and like just transitioning from his head to his chest, but still be able to be present in the song. And the song, when it comes to writing, like this was where he was opening up his parts in the album. The album has a story. The album has a story, and this was the pivotal point where he was opening up back to the heartbreak that he had experienced on previous songs. And this was it. This was him basically letting that message be profound. And what a way to put it together. There was a very, very crazy line that says, "If I were a fruit, I would be hanging low." Basically, just to say how like he was there, bro. He absolutely murdered that song, and I think it's a top tier song. Change Your Life is another favorite for me. Very Afro House-esque, had some disco bass lines to it. Definitely got you moving throughout the entire song. Very passive listen. You don't even need to deep it too much. I wasn't even going in there for lyrical, spiritual, anything. I was just vibing out to the instrumentation. It's a very, very high point in the album, and I was enjoying it. So Change Your Life, definitely another one. And the singles that I loved prior to this, Obaa, okay? I had Yawa, I had Every Day. Absolutely love those songs, and I think they're brilliant points in the album as well. As we got into the dance phase of the album has a pre-ready, post-ready effect when it comes to the tempo, to the instrumentation, the percussions. Everything kind of picked up after Ready with Wande's bop, okay, and we kind of saw that into what Fireboy would obviously look at as an homage to Wande Cole, one of his biggest influences, one of the foundations of his sound. And I get the reverence points that he did here. There was a lot of efforts to really imitate and gracefully imitate Wande's runs in the styling, even the delivery of him being very nonchalant and freestyle-esque. He definitely did that. He understood Wande. It looks like he studied Wande so much to the point where he checked a lot of the boxes that you would attribute to a Wande song. And what actually feels on this song for me as is one of my least favorites, unfortunately, because there's an aspect of Wande's delivery that is very, very nonchalant and leaves a lot of loose ends in the songs and the structure of the songs that it kind of makes the songs bland. And there's elements of that in this one. Okay, there's elements of that in this one. It's not necessarily my favorite attribute of Wande's style. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it's not necessarily a good look. Essentially why I didn't enjoy his last album, Legend or No Legend. So a lot of that felt like Wande's bop was an extension of that album. Okay, even down to the strings on Ichoke, you can see a lot of resemblance to that. So it's like, yeah, it felt like an extension of Wande's poorest effort. And it's not... I get that you want to pay homage to your GOAT, and he is. I don't revere anyone more than Wande Cole in this Nigerian music space. So don't get me wrong. This is not a Wande slander. It's just that this is his weaker points that Fireboy is expanding on, and that's the unfortunate situation in this particular song. So it's not necessarily my favorite record, and it comes after a ballad. Maybe even the placement too is a little too contrasty for me. It comes after a ballad, and it sounds very forced for a club banger and a club attempt, which honestly doesn't fit well into this album. I think I see more organic renditions of pop or up-tempo Fireboy, even on the songs that come right after that, from Obaa to Change Your Life to even Need Me, another song that is not necessarily one of my favorites. So yeah, Need Me and Wande's bop will be my least favorite points in this album, and that's not to take away the brilliance of the rest of the album. But yeah, Need Me is essentially in the context of the album, it feels very much like obaa sima, and it doesn't really have legs to stand on its own, essentially. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily gravitate to Need Me. It's not a bad record. If I got no context of obaa sima, I probably would have enjoyed this, even though they had a brilliant transition in between songs. But I probably would have enjoyed this without that. But yeah, I didn't gravitate to this one because it didn't have much substance to stand on for me to really see it as its own song. But regardless, we close out the album with singles that we've very well accustomed to. If you've been paying attention to Fireboy and his rollout of singles, you would love the songs already. This was a vibe run for me, from Yawa to Everyday. From that obaa sima to Yawa Everyday, I was having too much fun. I was in a high. I was in a high with that run because I've already had months with these songs, and I absolutely love them. Easily sing-alongable and vibe into. This is pop, like tip tier, like commercial Fireboy. And again, we talked about the context about how the music landscape was not necessarily favorable to the songs. That's why these songs didn't necessarily hold enough weight in the pop landscape as they honestly should be owed. So it's nice to see that this album is going to breathe new life into these songs, because I really think these songs deserve much more attention. So it's a nice look for Fireboy to bring them back. And then we got a closeout with John's interlude, John Baptiste showing up again just for the keys, just to see us out. And absolutely was a brilliant way to close out the curtains of a very strong album. So shout out to Fireboy, shout out to Olamide, because obviously you can see the A&R in effort here. I didn't touch on Lil J effort, but Letting Go is another brilliant moment that I really revere for Lil J and Fireboy. And rumors have it that these two are working on an EP, so I'm intrigued and excited to see what that collaboration could see. If it's anything like this, or if they're going to expand on this, I'm absolutely here for it. So yeah, shout out to everything, man. Everything on this album was good. Ecstasy, bro. Interesting opener for that one. I didn't even touch on that one, but shout out to Seun Kuti for being on the sax. A lot of horns on this album, sprinkled around this album. Horns, amapiano efforts, folk elements. All of that came strong with Fireboy in this album. At the same time, it was beautiful. It was beautiful in its delivery. So shout out to Fireboy, man. Adedamola, a very, very strong effort. With all of that being said, how am I feeling on the first rating on this one? For me, I'm going to lean, even though I have two moments here that are not really strong, but I don't think they're strong deterrent away from the brilliance of this album. I'm walking out of this with a strong 9. Okay, I'm walking out of this with a strong 9 out of 10 for me. It's up there, definitely, as one of the heavyweights for this year. This album year is going to be crazy. The listing for this album is going to be insane. Okay, but I'm definitely seeing this one as a strong contender. Definitely a good statement for Fireboy. I think it's going to be his redemption album in a lot of ways. People would be restored to why they fell in love with him. This album reminds people a lot of that. Okay, that's the sentimental aspect of going back to your best moments in some ways. Granted, it cannot make exactly an LTG again, but this is the natural progression into what feels like if LTG came out in today's climate for Fireboy. So if that makes sense. But again, you can see a lot of the reasons why people fell in love with his talent, and he showed it here. He definitely showed it here. So shout out to Fireboy on a brilliant effort, beautiful album. And I'm coming back to so many songs on this. So yeah, man. Shout out to everyone as well that got to listen. I'm curious, what is your rating on this album out of 10? So I'm seeing some ratings already. I'm seeing some 8.5s. Fine. Okay. I'm seeing 8.8. just give it your 9, bro. I see a strong 8.5. Okay. Let me see. A lot of 8.5. You people are getting too comfortable, man. Yeah, 8.5 is fair, but damn. Okay, 9. I see a 9.5. All right, cool. I see it on the 9 too. 8.5 as well. Cool. All right. Ife, shout out to Ife, man. A lot of the blurbs that you were leaving here, I couldn't get to all of them, but I'm gonna watch this back at some point. I'll probably read a lot of your blurbs, so shout out to you, man. But yeah, D-Knock has it at 8, strong 9. Okay, strong 7. Okay, Ellsworth. Okay, Ellsworth with the hot take today. Interesting from Ellsworth, man. Shout out to you, bro. With a 7. This doesn't feel like a 7, bro. This doesn't feel like a 7. But hey, then again, it's your pick. Anyway, Ron Need Me again. I'm not gonna Ron Need Me, bro, like that. It's a very forgettable one. But anyway, shout out to everybody. If you're a new listener as well, or new person on Twitch, definitely hit the follow on Twitch. And of course, in case you missed some of this It's gonna be back on Patreon almost immediately. So shout out to everyone on Patreon supporting. That would definitely have all the playback to the live stream, and I'll be sprinkling out some chops from this album experience onto YouTube. So be on the lookout for the YouTube as well. So all right, guys, man's gotta get out of here. Okay, it's about that time. Much love to you guys.